Hello, it's me, and as the ship has docked somewhere off of Labadee, which I think is in Haiti somewhere, we find ourselves early enough to where the kids are still asleep. So I thought I'd go through the next order of the axis cube. This was the 3-layer, which we went over last time, with the roar of the ocean in the background. Sorry about that. But now we have the next layer, which is the 4x4 layer. So we share all the characteristics of a modification, but now it's 4x4, which means it's even number. And as you know, with even number comes the promise of parity. And all the types of 4x4 parities there is. So what's interesting is that what steps this challenge up is not just the brain-bending perspective changes that you get with an axis cube, but also the fact that it's an even number parity. Yeah. And just so that we don't think it's all about cubes, I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's a beautiful rainbow over there. Look at that. I don't know how well you can see that. Alright, okay, maybe that's the best shot, but right across the ocean, right off the ocean. Very, very nice. Proving again that life is not all about cubes. Sort of. Alright. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, basically, just to kind of study it and study the similarities, we'll do it all on the red side. But basically, this is our side over here, which means our centers, there are now 4 centers. So whereas before we had this, now we've got these centers here. So the centers that we're going to be dealing with, these are the centers over here, one of which looks very much like the previous center, but now there is more to it than that. And then you've got these 3 that are also part of that. So these make up the center. So you can see other centers are organized exactly the same way. So when studying that, I see that I've got 2 colors. Just like with these guys, I've got solid colors, and then I've got something to sort of guide me as to when the next one, what the next colored side is. Because with these, it's not going to be apparent to me where the centers are supposed to be. I actually have to create that. And of course, as we have this extra layer, we've got extra turning and extra potential for shape-shifting. And the thing about the shape-shifting is that it maintains its overall organization.
Where's Labadee?
And as you can see, shapeshift and breakfast time. So I'm going to go ahead and scramble this. Abracadabra.
1, 2, 3.
And we got it. So we have ourselves a good scramble going on here. So now when solving a modification like this, especially something that's a 4-layer, obviously we have to define our centers. So we need to use what we were learning, what we studied, in order to get the centers inappropriately. Scramble a little bit more here, I suppose. So I'm going to start off with green. So I know that the way that this is structured is I see the 2 colors here. The one that looks kind of like that is this is going to be on the side here with the other colors here. So I'm just going to focus on that. So this guy actually is supposed to be here. So I'm going to turn it here. But before I put it here, because this is on the opposite side, I'm actually going to see if I can't load in maybe another green or red one here. So here's a green here. Let's see if we can find another one that might fit better. How about this one over here? So we'll move this over here, bring this here and down so that fits fine over here. Now the other one that lines up with this is going to be either green and red, which is here. But why don't we line the red one up here, the other red side over there, which could be this one. Turn it in, we see that it is. And turn it back and move it. So the learning curve is basically progressing with this because now I'm defining more what my pieces are supposed to look like. So you can see the turning is a lot better. Okay, so this is our first center over here. So now what's going to guide us for the next center? Well, I know that from here, when you look at the way these are, with a 3x3 it was already defined for me. This one is not defined for me. But I know that they're, say, with a green center, the equivalent of what I got, there's going to be another green center here. So right next to this will be the other center that has the green in it. So let's see what else that is. And as I look around, probably this one here, maybe the green and black. So I'm going to call this my next center over here and maybe line up a black one here. Here's a black one over here. Does this fit? No, not that one. Maybe this one. So I'll just move that down, turn, and turn it up. So that's good over here. Turn this back and turn it down. So we've got this. The next is going to be green. We'll find the other center here that has green, black, and then another color, which is this one here. So I'm going to try to line another green one up over here instead of this orange, yellow rather. So maybe this one over here. So let's move this out, move it out, turn, move it back. All I'm doing is I'm separating it. So I'm just trying to get a 1x2 bar here. Maybe fold that over here. Double turn here, turn it here, so that's good. Turn and turn. So now it's just a matter of lining these guys up and moving it in. Okay, so here's my second center. So this goes pretty quickly, pretty easily, and I'm starting to get a little more familiar with how these pieces come together. Okay, so as such, we're going to define maybe a green side that's starting to form here. See if we can't organize these together in a way that, okay, so this is okay over here. Alright, so now that I have these, I'm going to try to decide maybe what this color is going to be. Well, this is going to start to define a whole green side over here. This eventually will be my green square. So I'm going to find which one has the small green. I can tell that a red's going to be here, but where has my small green one, which is over here? So if you can imagine this, I'm going to put this over to here, and that's going to help define what my side's going to be. So I kind of like how this is associated with each other, so I'm just going to move this out of the way for now. So turn, and just turn this into here and turn it back. And the reason that I did that is now you can see that I'm sort of forming something of a side here. And what really is starting to look good is that this could be yellow over here and orange over here, which lines up with these guys. So why don't I go ahead and put yellow over here? Because it seems like that's going to fit pretty well. Or actually what I can do is start putting these sides in here. So this is going to be the yellow and orange. So let's go ahead and actually do it based on that. So I put these in here. I see that green is over here, which is will define the side. So the next two colors here, yellow, yellow and orange, that's going to be the side over here. So we'll start to follow suit. What I'm going to do first is maybe line up an orange one over here, or perhaps a yellow over here. At this point, it doesn't really matter. So I see a yellow one for the taking. So I'm just going to turn this perhaps over here, and let's see if this matches up. Probably not. Yeah, it does. Matches up pretty well. So turn it here and turn it down. Alright, so let's find the other yellow and orange, and then I can put an orange slab in there. Yellow and orange is over here. So where's an orange? Right over here. Maybe I can use that. Actually, any one of those. Move it up. Nope. Now there is a specific orientation that I didn't quite get into, but no need to memorize every aspect of it. So move this up. This fits in here pretty well. Turn it and move it down. Okay. So now I'm ready to move this guy into here, into this center over here. So I'm just going to move this down to do my exchange. And then double turn and move it up. So we're good. Alright, so let's see what we've got here. So we're good over here, and we've defined a third center. From here, this will be my basis to form the other centers. So from here, I can maybe look for this center over here, which is going to be orange. Not just orange, but orange and black, because now black is going to line up to here, and orange is going to line up to here. So let's look to see if an orange and black actually does exist. Yeah, right over here. There's an orange and black. So we're going to be moving this down to here. It looks like this is where it belongs. These two are already put in, so turn this like so. And it's going to be exchanged, so double turn and turn it back. Okay, let's see if this looks pretty kosher here. See if we like this. Okay, looks like black finds a home here, orange finds a home over here. But actually the major colors here are not orange and black. This is just a minor player. It's actually going to be orange and blue. So I'm going to look for the orange and blue, which is right over here. I've already got an orange lined up here, so I'm going to line a blue up over here. A blue centerpiece, which is over here. So orange and blue. Let's see if we can't make this work. Actually, I've got two to choose from here, so turn this over here. Does this side work? Nope. So this side will. And move it up, so we're good here. Turn it, and move it down. And I'm just going to move it into here by doing a little exchange, like so. Turn this down. Now basically what I'm doing is I'm doing 4x4 strategies, 4x4 supercube strategies. Again, it's just a question of orientation here. And bang. So let's see if we like this. So you can see the turning is really good. The problem is getting things lined up correctly. Alright, so orange, 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 we like that. Black, black, we like that. So I think we have it down to the last couple of centers. This one and this one. Okay, so we have it down to the last two centers here. We're able to pretty quickly get that, and I was using each one as kind of a reference point for another. This is going to be a yellow one over here. So it's going to be obviously yellow and blue, which matches up with this side over here. Kind of hard to see perhaps, but this is going to be a yellow side here. This is going to be feeding into a blue side over here. Just line these up a little bit better there. Okay. So it's fairly straightforward that this should be a yellow and blue side over here. So here's yellow and blue, and this is this one over here. Now because this is the last two centers, the way that I do the last two centers is let's just get one of them for now, and then we can deal with the last one. So let's put a blue into here, and we're going to try to move these into place. So move it down. This is good. Turn this again and move it back up. Okay, so now this is, everything here is in place, we just have to move a yellow one in. So you can see we have the last two centers. Now we've been through techniques of how to place last two centers before on 4x4 modifications. And each one has a little bit of a difference because as you can see, two centers share a color. And that could be used to our advantage with this. Sometimes they share a shape, sometimes they share a color. But there is an algorithm that we use in order to cause a very consistent shifting cycling of 3. So rather than jump into just solving this, what I'm going to do is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just solve one side here. So I'm going to turn it over like this, because I know that the algorithm will shift 1 up here and not shift 3 over here. So here's what I mean by that. If I hold it like this, and I hold this one like this, the algorithm that I would do would move this to here, this to here, this to here, and these are all going to be the same. And this algorithm is really the same as the corner shifting, corner rotating algorithm that we see with the 3x3. So I'm going to be calling this middle segment R, and this middle segment L, and of course the top here U, and this is going to cycle these 3. Now I've gone through this many times during other 4x4 supercubes, so I'm just going to very quickly kind of go through it here, but I will post it for those who may be thinking of getting this particular puzzle. Now if I were really clever, what I could try to do is I could try to maybe, well, no, I'm not going to be clever. So this is going to be R, and then we do a UI, LI, U, RI, UI, L. Okay, so what that did is that truly did put all that in, and now we just have this side to go. So I'm going to orient my centers correctly here right now. to make sure that they're all okay. And then from here, this is going to help guide my last center, which is over here. But the only way to really know how it's supposed to be, if you remember with the megamorphix, morphings, is I had to put my corners in, and my corners define where this is supposed to go. Now over here, I might not need to necessarily do that because I have a center here of 3 colors. The center of 3 colors should be able to coordinate where this is supposed to go. So where should this get coordinated? Well, let's put this blue up to a blue, what is going to be basically the blue side. So that's going to be over here. So I know that this center is supposed to be like this, which means that it's supposed to be kind of in this configuration over here, and it can't move. So this is all right. These two need to basically float around. So what's going to happen is I'm going to pick one of these other centers to coordinate this with. And one that I can do that with is maybe one that shares a black edge, a black centerpiece like this, which is this piece over here. So if I hold it here, these guys are going to be coordinating with each other. So here's how I did that. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn it upside down here so that this is going to be coordinated with this down here. These have to stay exactly the same. So if I were to move it like this, these two have to be the ones that change. What I'm going to do is I'll be bringing this up, and I'm going to move this down here. Then I'm going to turn it where this is going to be moved to over here. That's how I'm going to coordinate it at first. So I'm going to go ahead and do that algorithm. Forward, back, back, boom, bang, same algorithm, bang, and zoom. And then this gets moved. Okay, so what I effectively did is move this down to here. Now this is going to be my basis of comparison. Now this needs to move up to over here. And of course this got moved here. So now what I'm going to do is this gets moved over here. So I'm going to move this like so. Turn this like so. And now I'm going to turn this over here. So now this is going to come up to here, which is fine. This will come down here, and this will come over here. So in essence, what I've done is I've just shifted these guys. So we'll go ahead and do that. Forward, forward, back, back, forward, back, back, forward. Okay. Alright, so that's pretty good. I put that in place. Now what I'm going to do is I have to kind of get back what I messed up here a little bit. I'm going to move this down to here, over to here. And now the way that this is going to coordinate is these share something in common. These share this red one in common. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move this over to here. This is all fine, so these are not going to change with this algorithm. This will come down here, which is where it needs to be. This will slide over to here, which is fine, and this will come up to here, which will solve it. So we'll go ahead and do that. Forward, forward, back, back, forward, back, back, forward, and it's done. So we have the centers apparently done. Now before I move on, what I want to do is I want to make sure if my theory is correct and just the specific orientation of the centers will prevent me from getting into a parity. So I'm just going to line these up, and it appears to be raining on the ocean. It's kind of nice. That's the Labadee over there, getting all wet. I am safe and dry in the confines of my cabin.